stop posting content, stop tweaking your website, stop rewriting your bio for the 7th time, and definitely stop binging YouTube videos. If you're a coach making less than $3,000 a month, you're not going to find your answers in little tips and tactics online. The real problem is what's happening between your ears. After working with over 1,400 coaches to build full-time businesses, 49 of those which are now running million-dollar and multiple million-dollar businesses, I can tell you exactly how successful coaches think. And I can also tell you the ones who stay stuck all share the same exact psychology. I call them the 3 income cages. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. So in this video, I'm gonna break down all 3. I'm gonna show you the one shift that separates coaches who make millions from coaches who burn out. And I'm gonna give you a simple reframe you can use today to start to make more money. Now I wanna tell you a little story about Rena, the district attorney for Los Angeles, that quit her job to start relationship coaching. This is her just 4 months in having her first 30K month as a coach. Before she was able to quit her day job, she had put over 12 months into planning and preparing to build this coaching business and got nothing. She had spent hours and hours and hours. She'd gotten several certifications. She'd put together an extensive program with 0 clients to show for it. Do you know why? I'll tell you. If you had a goal that you wanted to achieve, what percentage of your time would you spend in planning and preparation versus action? We asked this question to all of our starting coaches, and the average answer is somewhere between 60 to 80% of the time they spend in planning and preparation, and only 20 in execution and action. And this is totally normal, by the way. Planning feels really productive. We're checking off the boxes on our list, and it makes us feel good. But when we studied 7-figure earning entrepreneurs, this was the exact opposite. On average, the most successful entrepreneurs spend about 10% of their time planning and preparing, 80% of their time in execution, and then they spend 10% of their time reviewing the execution and the data that they just got so that they can plan and prepare for the next round of execution. Think about it this way. If you wanted to become a professional swimmer, you couldn't just go read the book by Michael Phelps on how to become a professional swimmer for 30 days straight and then jump in the pool on day 30 and expect to be great. No, of course not. You'd read as much of the book on day 1 as you could, you jump in the pool, swim a bunch, then you'd go back to the book and go, how did I mess this whole thing up? And then you jump back in the pool, back to the book, back to the pool, back to the book, back to the pool. You don't even notice it, but you plan, you prepare. And really, that's just the smart person's version of procrastination. You're avoiding getting into the difficult work and executing and making mistakes. And that's the first cage, the preparation loop. So to overcome this with our clients, I teach them 2 rules. The first one you've already learned. It's called the 10-80-10 rule. The second rule that we teach our clients is what we call the Colin Powell rule. If you don't know Colin Powell, he was the Secretary of State during the Bush administration. And a CNN news reporter asked him one day, how do you make such crucial decisions so fast that involve thousands of people's lives? And he said, if I make a decision with less than 40% of the information at hand, then I might be underanalyzing. But if I have more than 70%, I've waited too long and people will die. The vast majority of people wait until they have 80, 90, 100% of the information to feel like they're making an informed decision. But in the end, that's overanalyzing and it's perfection paralysis and it's preventing you from moving forward and changing lives. But even if you do break out of the first cage, there's a second one waiting that catches most every coach that I've ever worked with. When I first started my coaching business, I joined a mastermind. Everybody in the mastermind was following the same kind of ascension ladder, right? It was you build an email list with free opt-ins. Now, once they've joined, you might be able to try and sell them a $47 course. And from there, you might be able to upgrade them to $100 or $200 one-on-one sessions. And when I was in this community, I realized very quickly that not a single person in this mastermind was making more than $3,000 a month. Now, here's the thing. I had just quit my job at Cisco as a systems engineer making well over $200,000 a year. I knew deep down my coaching was worth way more than $100. If I could change someone's life, that wasn't worth $100 or $200. That was worth thousands. So the next day I got on a call with a potential lead. His name was Adam. By the end of that conversation, I offered him to work with me for $3,000. I had no idea what I was doing, but I figured I'd give it a shot. That month, I made 13K in my coaching business. The next month was 17K. The next month was 23. Then it was 32. Most coaches get stuck in this idea of charging $100 a session or $300 for a pack of 4, thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to be of service. And if I charge less, I can get to more people and I can change more lives. When you price low, you're literally telling others that your transformation is not that worth it. So here's the honest truth. Coaches that get stuck at 3K per month or less, they don't have a pricing problem. They have a worthiness problem. Settling for dimes and calling it being accessible, but truthfully, your price is just a mirror. It reflects how you see yourself. And if you want to change the number that you charge, you need to change the person. And this is what I call the price identity ceiling. This cage will keep you earning a fraction of what you're worth until you finally decide you deserve more. And here's an easy way to start to fix it. I want you to ask yourself, if I had to pay you to unlearn absolutely everything that you have learned to become an expert in your space, all the lived experience, all the wisdom, any of the stuff that you've learned going through certifications or degrees or anything like that, what would I have to pay you to unlearn everything that you've learned to get to where you're at right now? The answer for most people would be a lot, or it wouldn't be enough. So that's the second cage. But this third cage, this is kind of the one that runs underneath everything. And it's probably the most confronting thing that I'm going to say in this entire video. If you're not making at least $10,000 to $20,000 a month as a coach, it's because you're being selfish. Let that land, then I'll explain. A few years ago, I met Adam Torin. He's one of the founders of Entrepreneur Magazine, Entrepreneur.com. I was talking about what he does at Entrepreneur. I was talking about what I do at High Impact Coaching. And when I explained to him that I help starting coaches build successful 6-figure, multiple 6-figure, and 7-figure businesses, he goes, man, that's amazing. I could never do that. But what do you mean? Like you're a very successful entrepreneur. Why could you not help them? He said, well, honestly, starting coaches are just so selfish. The reason that they're not making money is not because they don't want to help people. It's because they act from their own selfish fears to keep themselves safe. You can't have self-preservation and self-realization at the same time. You choose one or the other. And most coaches say they want to help people. They say they want to change lives or even change the world, but they act from self-preservation. They're spending most of their time asking themselves questions like, what if I'm not good enough? What if people don't pay me? What if I put myself out there and nobody cares? And that's the final stage, the selfish coach. And it's the cage that most coaches don't even know they're in, because really it feels like humility, when honestly, it's actually just fear wearing a mask. Listen to every single one of those questions again. Every single one of them is focused on self-preservation. It's focused on keeping you safe. But the reality is there are people that are out there that need you right now. And they're not going to get you because you're too afraid of people judging you or criticizing you or not being good enough. So to shift this, I want to give you 2 tools. First, the next time you notice yourself thinking these self-preserving thoughts, what if I can get results, but I did nothing? And the second thing that we give every single one of our clients is what I call my service mantra. It goes like this. It's not about me, it never was, and it never will be. Now, the moment I stopped making my business about me and I started making it about the people that I'm here to serve, everything changed. So now you can see the 3 cages. You can name them. You can probably feel which one's been running your business for a while now. But seeing the cages is not the same as having the key to break out of them. Awareness without a plan is kind of just frustration with some extra steps. So if you want the actual step-by-step system on how to generate consistent leads, enroll high-ticket clients, and deliver consistent results to build an actual 20 to 30K per month coaching business from scratch, that's exactly what I break down in this next video. So go check it out, all right?